So I got off work early today and I get home and I see my dog. She kind of staring at me. So I'm thinking, well, I can either sit in a chair and do nothing, or I can look at this face and go, I gotta go do something with my girl. So that's what we did. Liberty, you ready to go for a ride? No? All right. Let's go to the lake. Let's go check it out. Huh? What do you say? Yeah, all right. Off to the lake we go. All right, so we made it up the mountain here, and well, the problem is the access to the lake is closed, unless you're on a snowmobile, and we're not in a snowmobile. Out here kind of halving it around on a trail. Snow's a little deeper than I thought it was. Right here about where we're at, feels like it's about 3 feet deep, but it's kind of wet enough to where I'm able to walk on it without sinking. But yeah, it's definitely deep. And Liberty is like, just she's tweaking. I'll let you see her. So yeah, we're able to walk on top of it. You just got to be careful. You want to get too close to a trunk of a tree, you will drop. She doesn't know what to make of this. Anyway, so we're going to walk around a little bit here and play. In the meantime, we'll give her some exposure. Yeah, that's deep. In the meantime, kind of want to go over and touch a few things. An update on the Wilderness. It's been a great car. I am averaging right at 21.7 to 22 miles per gallon still, so that's been pretty consistent for daily driving, and you know, and headed up the mountain and stuff. Hit 21.8 up the mountain. You did use some cruise control and stuff, but yeah, so it's been working fantastic. It's been a great little car, daily driver. I really don't have any complaints about it yet. I mean, there's a lot of people that had concerns about the CVT transmissions and stuff, and I've talked about that in a couple of my other videos. And but I haven't really had any issues whatsoever. Really nothing. It pretty much feels, as far as, you know, updates and stuff, what is it, you know, what does it feel like? And a lot of it is Liberty. A lot of it is pretty much the same as it was, other than the gas mileage. The gas mileage is, you know, it is less than what I kind of anticipated it would be. But again, the vehicle's capabilities, in my view, and I knew that when I got it, the vehicle's then theoretical capabilities, and now proven, outweigh the gas mileage. So, you know, with the lower gear ratio that the Wilderness has and stuff like that, I definitely do like it. Let's see here. I don't know if you can see the Wilderness. We'll get a view of that thing. It's back there somewhere. But anyway, we're gonna walk around a little bit here and give her some exposure. That's kind of what we came up here for. She's riding real good. Plenty of room in the back of that Wilderness with the back seat up. I got like one of those dog things you hang over the back of the seat and it clips into the back of the front seat, and she rides back there just perfectly. And I don't even have to fold the seat down yet. I imagine I will at some point to be able to haul more gear and stuff, give her a little more room, but she's got plenty of room to stretch out. She's a big dog. So anyway, so yeah, we're gonna screw around a little bit and let her have some fun, and that's what we came up here for, really. So we'll check back in a bit. Nope, right here. Hey, Goofus. What are you doing? You're such a goof. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Center. 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 Good girl. Good girl. Up. All right, stay away from the trees. So yeah, you kind of want to stay away from the base of these trees because the snow, you get too close to the base of the trees, for some reason the snow will collapse and you'll be like, well, like I was a few minutes ago, above my knees, down in snow. It's easy to get stuck like that, so let's not do that. Yeah. So yeah, the wilderness. Man, what a ride. Absolutely love it. And you know, up here in the mountains, it's really in its element. I like the new rear hitch bumper thing, step I put on there, that's nice. And of course the handle next to the license plate, that works real good for shutting the hatch and stuff. And then there's the dog. So the Crosstrek Wilderness, it's been a really neat car. I'm really glad. Okay, so you know, I've had it for several months. I got it in early October, and you know, it's what is it now? February, mid-February. Well, actually, it's right before Valentine's Day. So, you know, would I buy one again? Yeah, sure would. From what I know now, and like I said, I've been using it as a daily driver for a while now. I would most certainly buy it again. I don't have any regrets. I mean, yeah, there's the fuel mileage issue for a daily driver aspect that certainly would be nice if it was a little better. But like I've said in another one of my videos or something, that, you know, the thing is that everything has a trade-off. You know, if you don't spend a lot of time out in the you know, woods and stuff like that, where I like to, you know, going to lakes and kayaking and stuff like that, if you don't spend a lot of time out there, do you need the wilderness? Probably not. I think you might, if you just doing it occasionally. I think if you got, this is just my take on it, so if you picked up like a Sport, which has the same motor, different, you know, doesn't have the transmission cooler, so it can't tow as much, and you know, stuff like that. There are limitations to the Sport, but it has the same motor in it, same all-wheel drive stuff. And I think if you got yourself a Sport and put some AT tires on it or something like that, you know, put some 4-peak tires on a Sport, you might have to put a lift on it or something like that. It just depends on how much time you spend off the paved road. You know, if you don't spend a lot of time off the paved road, then don't do any of the things. You know, but if you think you're going to be seeing some mud or snow or something like that, you might consider some, you know, some peak tires or something like that. You know, and if you find yourself that's just not quite cutting it, well, then maybe you should consider putting a slight little lift on it. You know, the difference in price between a Sport and a Wilderness, I don't know the exact numbers. Of course, it all depends on your state and your taxes and, you know, stuff like that. So there are variables, but if you don't really spend a lot of time off in the woods, then there's really not a lot of sense, I think, in getting the Wilderness, unless you really like the looks of it, which in my opinion, I love the looks of it. But I also do spend a lot of time out in the woods, you know, doing my thing for my bike riding and kayaking and filming and stuff like that. And of course, I live in the Northwest, so yeah, that stuff's kind of here, you know, at least in my area. I do go over to Eastern Oregon a lot. I love it over there. You know, lack of trees in a lot of areas, but you know, one thing I do love about over there is some of the lakes that they've got there and the lava flows. You know, they got some crazy cool lava flows there, and I really like that. I definitely like the lava flows, as you've seen in some of my normal videos. So the Crosstrek, I think, is going to be... This dog's jerking me all over the place. She's just like all new stuff, but that's why, why I got to get her out here. As some of you who follow my channel might know, Amber Dog, the namesake of my channel, she was my soulmate dog. She passed over the Rainbow Bridge. Sucks. But when you get a dog, that's going to happen at some point. It's never good. Anyway, with that said, Liberty here, LibertyDog, she was, through a fun set of circumstances, came into my life through a friend of mine, and who had a litter of labs, and my family just said, hey, maybe it's time that you went ahead and got one, and and it was hard. It was hard. I knew that it was the right thing to do, but you're like, kind of feel a little bit of betrayal to your soulmate dog, because then you got to divide some attention up. But the advantage is that Amber was able to help raise Liberty and teach her some stuff, and had a little more time to bond. And Liberty's just over a year old, and year and a half old maybe. And so it takes time, and this is what we're doing on these little trips like this. We're going out, and she's getting exposure to nature, which is, in my opinion, really important, not only for her happiness and health, but so that she understands these places and doesn't fear them and feels confident in them. Because I got to get her used to things. And then, as time goes on, she's a young pup, still likes to pull on the leash, and she's not very focused. But that's okay. That's okay. I don't want her to grow up too fast. It's important for her to be a puppy. So. But anyway, yeah, so I think if the Wilderness isn't in your budget, that's fine. There are options with Subaru. That's for sure. You've got multiple trim options. The Crosstrek, everything from the baseline all the way up to the Wilderness, and I think the baseline's the one that has the slightly smaller motor. But would it be an issue? I don't know. It seems pretty peppy. And then you got the sport mode, which, I've used a couple times just to check it out. And yeah, you can certainly feel a little more, pep in the step. But I don't drive like an idiot either, so I'm not one of those guys or kids out there in a WRX, it's, tearing up streets and getting all kind of nutso. But, like anything else, you need to understand the power that is on tap in case you need to get out of a situation or something. You need to not just assume what you may have. You need to understand the vehicle. How well does it brake? How well does it handle? How is the acceleration? And I can tell you the brakes on the Wilderness are fantastic. The acceleration and snappiness, I think, is pretty darn good. No, it's not a match for, like a, hot rod or a Lotus or something like that, but it does just fine. But I mean, okay, so let me just kind of say this much, that if the Wilderness wasn't necessarily in my budget, I think probably what I would do, and I still want to have some really good off-road capacity, for occasional stuff or whatever. Do I think that dog's spinning me around. Liberty, come on, you just run in circles, jeez. Do I think that the Sport would have worked for me? Probably. I think it probably would have. You watch back at my video where I went up this road. I just didn't know where I was going, but I was kind of checking out the vehicle. The Sport wouldn't have made it up that. there's no way, because in this particular case, I certainly needed the extra ground clearance that the Wilderness offered, as it turns out. And overall, just, man, the ground clearance was critical in that. Had I had the Sport or any of the other trim options, that would have been a problem. But you know, you don't go in places like that if you don't have that capacity. So do I think the Sport would have worked for me? Yes. In the hobbies and things that I like, in the place I like to go, would it have limited me? Yes. Severely? No. But I have a tendency to, I don't want to say find myself in trouble, or get myself into trouble, but I get out here in the middle of nowhere. I'm usually by myself, a dog and whatever, and so I have to depend on myself. You know, spending time in the military, that's what, you know, it's what I do. I'm fine with that. So because I tend to find myself in situations like that, it's where I go and what I do, and when I film, you know, like today, it's just in Liberty. So I don't like to be limited by my equipment, I guess is what I'm trying to get to. It's like, you know, tools. You buy tools. You know, tools are great, but the problem is you buy junk tools, and when you need them the most, they fail. So I'm one of those people who's a firm believer in figure out what you need and up that some. So does the Wilderness, do what I consider the Wilderness an up? Yes. I think it's a level up from maybe what I necessarily need or what I could work around. I do believe that. But at the same time, I also fully expect I will be taking advantage of its capabilities. I've already done that. Did you find a tree? But, you know, Liberty's doing really good. She's doing really good. The tires. Loving the tires. I'm not getting any creaking or, you know, any unusual body noises, no leaks. I do have the top level that does have the Harman Kardon stereo system in it in the sunroof, which I love. I'm normally not a sunroof guy just because down the road you always worry about leaks and stuff. With that said, the gasket system that they've got on this one is absolutely fantastic. And the, you know, if you don't know, if you have a sunroof, factory installed sunroof, not like we used to do in the 70s and 80s where you just get out the jigsaw and, you know, put the template on the roof of the car and start hacking. They've done that. And yeah, they got good drain, you know, good drain systems in them. You just got to keep them clean as long as you know those drains are there, because what happens is people don't know and they don't clean those drains out now and then. They get pine needles and algae and dirt and stuff, and then it plugs up, and then now you got a leak. And then you take it to the dealer, oh, I got a leak, and anyway, whatever. If you didn't know about that, it's easy to look up on YouTube how to clear sunroof drains. It's something to consider if you have a factory installed sunroof. But no creaks, no rattles. That little car is really solid. It's just, you know, it's like I said in one of my earlier, one of my first videos, you know, that I don't want to sound like a fanboy. I just don't like fanboys. I think what's frustrating me is I keep looking for something I don't like. And, you know, there's always something, and I keep going back to the gas mileage. Understanding that I knew the gas mileage was going to be an issue. I did think it was going to be a little better than what I'm getting. I was expecting, you know, 24, 25 is what I thought I was going to get, but that's not happening. I've just come to accept that now. I've had it plenty long enough to determine what this car is actually going to get. And like I said, 21.7 to 22, that's it. Like I said, I do live in the Northwest. Not a super high altitude. I think our house is about, I think it was, somebody said it was like 800, something like that. So nothing to speak of. I'm not like right now, I'm up a lot higher. But you know, that's something to think. Because I mean, I know people are going to think, you know, well, you know, you up at 7,000 feet or something. No, I'm not. Not today. You go up those elevations, and you certainly expect to get really bad mileage. But I don't want to sound like I'm necessarily hunting for something wrong with the car, but, you know, I kind of think of it this way. You know, so you got a prospective buyer, someone's considering getting a Subaru, and this is my first Subaru, and someone's considering getting one, a Wilderness, let's say in this case, and they want to know some dirt. You know, what do they got to look out for? What are the concerns? What are the comments? And I almost feel like if I don't, you know, if I can't find anything that really kind of stands out, I don't know that I'm really helping you much. I know my channel is not a car review channel. I do nature videos, but I've gotten a lot of interest in my Wilderness, obviously. So, you know, if there's that kind of level of interest in the Wilderness, then I should probably address that, since I do happen to own one. I would like to say that I did not buy this to create content, okay? That was the last thing I ever considered. I just made a random video, and it kind of just went nuts. I'm like, wow, okay, well, and then it occurred to me, well, you know what? These are really super new this year. Maybe people want to know something about them. So that's kind of where that all started, with talking about the Wilderness on my channel. You know, I do reviews on other products and stuff, so this isn't too far out of the thing, but it's certainly not the focus of my channel. But you know, gosh, if you're so far, I guess I don't want to say I'm whipped here, but so far, if I'm supposed to say, well, I finally found something, I've been hunting, I'm not going to create a problem that doesn't exist. I'm also not going to blow something up and make it bigger than it really is. You know, I'm just going to be honest about it. Since I'm not a car review guy and a car review channel, I'm not going to BS you and try to lead you either way. You make up your own mind. That's why I keep bringing up, like, you know, the Sport or the Limited or something like that. For my lifestyle, the Sport would have been the only other choice. Yeah, I'm not trying to talk into any of the above. You know, basically, I want you to be as happy with your purchase as I am. And I am absolutely loving this Wilderness. Not quite as much as I love my dog, but it's a good purchase. And I actually see myself using it quite a bit more than maybe I anticipated. Especially now that I have the hitch on it. Liberty. Now that I have the hitch on it, you know, I put it on there as like a backup, just in case I needed to or something. And now I'm thinking, well, I might actually just be able to use it now and then, pull the trailer with the kayaks or whatever. I mean, why not? So I have a trip planned. I have a cabin this year. I'm looking forward to that vacation. I have a cabin at Clear Lake, which I've done a lot of videos and photo and underwater videos at that place. If you've never seen any of those videos, go ahead and check out some of my Clear Lake videos here on my channel. The water there is just staggeringly clear, and I've designed and built my own rigs, camera rigs that I put way down underwater and do some really incredible filming down there. I really enjoy it. Anyway, so I've got a cabin there this year for a week, and I'm considering, here recently I thought to myself, well, I could just, if I wanted to, I could just hook the trailer in the back of the Subaru and go, and I might just do that. I could very well do that. And I'm thinking it might not be a bad idea, because I can carry the kayak and the trailer, and I'll have a ton of room in the back with a seat down for a week's worth of supplies, camera gear, food, batteries, things like that. Whereas my truck, I can easily, there's the trade-off. My truck, I can throw the kayak in the bed of the truck and go. I don't have to worry about a trailer or anything like that. So I'm undecided yet if I'm going to use the Subaru or the truck. But while I'm out there, I also plan on hitting some lava flows and things like that in the area. I'm not just going to be staying at the lake only, so I will be hitting other spots while I'm in the general region. It's a pretty good drive out there, so I plan on having fun with that. Let's head on back down the mountain, Liberty. What do you say? Huh? All right. Let's head on up. Oop. This side. There you go. Good girl. She's got to learn to walk on a leash a little better. Oh yeah. There's one other thing I definitely like about this car. The back doors open up nice and wide, so it makes it real easy to load up, get in and out. A lot of room for the dog to be able to get in and out very easily. Let's see if I can capture that for you here. All right. There you go. Look at that. Now, that is awesome because you see how wide the door opens up. She goes even wider. She's able to, yeah, good girl. She's able to jump up in there real good and easy, and with no obstruction, huh? Liberty Dog. Here's my girl. All right, we got to put her her seat belt on, don't we? Yes. Okay. All right. Hey, Liberty. What'd you think? Did you like the woods and the snow and all that? Yeah, huh? Okay. Well, that was a fun run. We might take a look at Trim on the way down. We'll see. Depends. Got a little bit of time, so we'll check it out. All right. Maybe we'll see you in a bit. Well, okay. We're not going to be able to hit Trillium either. The entire area is under snow. It's buried. So, but it's also likely the lake is froze over too. That's pretty likely. But thought since it was on the way back, we could take a look. But yeah, the gates are shut down and the gates are buried in snow. So yeah, not today. So I think what we'll do is we'll head on back to the house, and Liberty can tell Freedom all about it, and we'll see how it goes from there. So this is Dana Price and Liberty Dog. Liberty, don't miss your moment. Dana and Liberty and Zammer Dog Productions, and we'll see you on the next one, right? See ya.